One, what is the revenue that the state of California gets from oil industries, drilling, fracking, liquid natural gas, exporting pipelines, refineries, etc.? What's the revenue the state brings in? What are the costs, the hidden costs and actual costs of this industry in California? And third, where do you stand with the issue of drilling, fracking, in the oil industries?
Okay. So the answer is I don't know, right, because it's broken up, right? So when you think about tax revenue sources for the state of California, so for instance, at the Board of Equalization, right, Board of Equalization is a property tax term. Just to give you a for instance, right, if you look at assessed property in Los Angeles County and some of the highest valued property, it is property taxes for oil refineries in the state of California. It was really interesting. So when I served way back when, some of us tried to get the rule change in property tax assessment for oil companies. I think it was rule number 25. And it was interesting because we didn't have all Democrats who were supportive. We actually had Claude Parrish, who is the Republican assessor of Orange County, who didn't like oil companies who wanted to change the rules. But we also had Democrats who didn't want to change the rules so that we would capture the full value of oil companies, right? So property tax is one, sales taxes. Just to give you a sense of where I've been on this. So when Governor Schwarzenegger was on board, when in office, they wanted to engage in more offshore oil drilling a few years ago. Lieutenant Governor John Garamendi and I voted no. The governor's representative voted yes. Some of you know that Oxnard has environmental justice issues, a heavily Latino community. You had an Australian company that wanted to build an LNG facility, environmental justice issues. Originally, they were looking at Malibu, and we know they're not going to build a LNG facility near Malibu, right? So they wanted to push it north into Oxnard. John Garamendi and I voted no, right? Part of my background I mentioned as I was a volunteer or a member of the Ethnic Coalition, and we know that a lot of the lower income people of color communities get stuck with companies that destroy their land, destroy their air, and so I wanted to stop that. And we'll give you an example in Long Beach. Governor Brown and Gavin Newsom voted for continuing expanding oil drilling in Long Beach, and I voted no. Yeah. Now, to be fully honest, right, the oil companies were allowed to drill, and they were allowed to continue to drill. They had the legal right to do it, right? So at some point they could sue us. I just disagreed because I don't think you let oil companies pay less than what they did the previous contract, right? Those dollars that we collect from oil drilling goes to pay for education in the state of California, right? And I didn't buy the argument that the oil company said, oh, our costs are getting more expensive, we need a break. No, you don't. No, you don't, right? In fact, you had technology that helps you reduce the costs, and it's not, if the choice is the kids of California or the oil companies, it's always the kids of California.
Yes, but my question is not clear enough. We know Jerry Brown has talked the talk and doesn't walk the walk. We know that renewables could displace oil if we really subsidize them to the degree that we subsidize big oil. What will you do as governor? And when I said cost, I'm talking about the cost to our lungs, the environment, the climate, the wildfires. You know, it's all integrated. What will you do for the people? And I know it's walking a tight line. What will you do for us? I love everything else you've said. What will you do for us in that area?
I wish I had the entire answer, but I've been pushing for it, right? So, for instance, I mentioned earlier the California Alternative Energy and Advanced Transportation Financing Authority, right? I'm trying to develop those electrical vehicle companies in the state of California, right? Today, as the state treasurer, I'm proud, right? We try to help individuals and businesses, really principally businesses, finance building of charging stations. right? We work in the state treasurer's office in financing the clean trucks in the state of California. We operate the CHIEF program, Energy Efficiency Program, for the state of California. I pushed, it was not successful. A few years ago, I was trying to create a financing mechanisms for Class B and Class C commercial buildings to do energy retrofits, right? We know that commercial Class A buildings, for commercial buildings, they have enough financial wherewithal so that they can finance, that new HVAC system or something like that so they're clean. It's those, right, who have less financial wherewithal, don't have access to the capital markets to upgrade, their properties so that they can be cleaner. So I had approached then Assembly Member Kevin De Leon. Kevin carried it for us. It was not successful. I approached Anthony Rendon, before he became Speaker. He carried that same bill. What I was trying to do is sort of like mortgages. We were going to package loans. We're going to partner with Lawrence Livermore Laboratory to look at the energy efficiency programs, right, to get their best sense. We're going to work with the California Energy Commission and the Board of Equalization, right, on collecting the taxes so that we could make sure that we could package it, securitize it, so that we can provide the loans for energy efficiency in this state. So
Let's go on to the next one.
so it doesn't answer all of yours, but it provides some.
Now, one,
About the green